Hey guys, this is Adam with Thoroughbred Diesel, here today with Barry Carter, owner of S&B Filters. We've been kind of touring S&B's facilities the past couple of days, and one thing we really noticed that differentiates S&B from other air filter manufacturers in our industry is, the quality of product. You can really depend on what you're getting to your door is going to have good airflow, and it's going to protect your engine at the same time. Barry, tell us a little bit about the facilities here and what you all do in this lab that you've created here.
Absolutely. We test the ISO 5011 standard, and testing is critical for us. If you can't test your product, then there's no way to improve upon it. So we're constantly testing our own products, our intake kits, our competitors' products, because we want to be the best, and you can only be the best if you can measure yourself. So this is critical to us. And in fact, we post a lot of test results on our competitors, not to take a shot at them, but to improve the industry, because if we show them where we're a little bit better, then they're going to make their product a little bit better, and the person that ends up winning is the consumer. So since we do post test results on our competitors, it's critical that, number one, we always tell the truth. That's critical at this company, and we'll never defer from that. But it's also critical that we have the proper environment. And so let me take you over here and show you how we control the temperature. Outside, we spent about $200,000 on our climate control system, and this allows us to control the humidity within 1% and the temperature within half a degree. And that's critical because here on our test lab, what we'll end up doing is we'll determine the max CFM of the vehicle, and we'll start pulling air through the filter and out and shoot it out the top of the roof. In order to do that, we got to replenish the room with the same type of air, otherwise the test is invalid. Right. And so we just think it's radically important, and the ISO standard mandates that you control your temperature and humidity when you do this test.
Right, just eliminate as many of those unknown variables as you possibly can.
Absolutely, you got to have consistency.
Now, we talked the other day about you all actually purchase dust for these tests.
Hey, we're all in the wrong business. Let me show you something here. We purchased ISO test dust, and it's called ISO coarse test dust. $40 a jar, so we definitely need to be selling something different if they can package dust and sell it like that. But it's awesome from a standpoint if you get consistency. And this is our where the dust is held before we shoot it into the filter. And this is like the best way I could describe it is baby powder. I mean, it's extremely fine. You can't. I mean, it's super fine material. Feel it yourself. I mean, I think baby powder is probably the best.
Baby powder or even flour, it's really...
Talc.
Yeah, any of that.
It's extremely fine, and it has all different size particles in it, from extremely small to a little bit larger particles, so that it can test the filter in the most appropriate way and give it, whether you're in the silt beds in Mexico or in Arizona, the dust particles are going to be different, and this dust gives you a full spectrum of the different dust size particles.
So Barry, you've shown us several pieces of equipment. Are there any other pieces in here that are really, unique or that are really important in the testing process that we should cover real quick?
This machine here, it's not very sexy, but they should make it look a little bit nicer for the amount of money we spent on it. However, this system is consistent with testing to the ISO 5011 standard. The first thing we do is we set up a stock system similar to this. I think this is for the 6.0, Ford 6.0, and we develop a baseline on the airflow, and that allows us, you got to have a baseline in order to test your product too, and so we develop a baseline both in airflow as well as in efficiency. And we will determine the max. For an airflow test, what we'll do is we'll start it at 0 and we'll run it up to the max CFM of the vehicle, and that'll show us the restriction, how difficult it is for the air to get through the air box for that particular system. And then we'll put our intake kit on there, and we'll put our competitor's intake kit on there, and we'll do the same thing, and that way we'll be able to see whose intake is better and how ours performs compared to stock.
So not only are you making sure that you're performing better than stock, but you're making sure that you're performing better than the other competitors as well.
Oh, absolutely. And airflow is the first step, but then the most important step once you get the airflow is to make sure you're protecting our customers' engines. And so what we do there is we will take a device similar to this. And the best way to describe it, it's kind of like a shot ping. and we'll mount that, and we will put that on the front of the intake kit, and I believe we're going to show a couple shots later. We'll put that on the front of the intake kit, and this will start dispersing dust into the filter as at the same time we're pulling the max CFM of the vehicle. And that's what's critical, that you test at the max CFM of the vehicle. You know, some of our competitors will post test results out there from independent labs that seem valid. However, when you get into the nuts and bolts of it, you find that their efficiency is very high, which is good. However, the key thing you need to look at is how much CFM was it tested at, because if you're testing a filter at 200 CFM, it's extremely easy to stop the dirt. When you raise it to 600 CFM, which is the max CFM of many diesel engines, that becomes very difficult to stop the dirt at, and that's kind of what separates us from our competitors. Is the higher the CFM, the more difficult it is to stop the dust, and we're very good at that point in time.
Well, you said something else right there to me that was crucial, and I don't know if our viewers notice it or not, but they do their testing in-house, and he said our competitors will send them to an outside lab to do it. Well, I just want to keep in mind, if you send something to an outside lab and you're paying them to test something, they're not as likely to come back and say, hey, your product sucks. Whereas if you all made something that wasn't bad, you're going to know immediately, and you're going to come in and be able to fix it.
Yeah, and one of our competitors, one of the larger competitors, they do their testing in-house, so they've gone the necessary steps, but not everybody does. But one of the most important things to do it in-house, if it's an outside lab, you can't make adjustments and test again quickly.
Right.
We want to test and continue to test, make adjustments, because that's ultimately, we have this test lab not to say that that we're better than our competitors. Ultimately, we're here to have this. We have this test lab so we can get better.
Right. Perfect. So this has been an overview of S&B's testing facilities. Again, this is just to show you guys, we've said for years S&B is quality and it's going to protect your engine and you're going to have the best airflow. And basically this is just more of a reinforcement for that. So if you have any questions on the testing facilities here or any of the things that we've gone over, make sure and shoot us a message in our comments down below. We may not know the answer, but we'll make sure that somebody that does know the answer helps you out. As always, make sure and like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you have any questions, give us a call.